Hey guys, it's Mr. Munoz here. I have here the first page or so of examples from the notes on the lesson from the book, Integers in Order of Operations. It's section 5.2 in the book. An integer, both of those topics, you probably have a clue what they are, but I'll refresh your memory that integers are just numbers that aren't fractions or decimals, okay? So they can be positive or negative. Okay? Integers can be positive numbers or negative numbers, but no fractions, no decimals. That's what a definition for an integer is. So that, and then normally when it says integers, it's just talking about adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, stuff like that. Maybe using exponents, as you see here. And then the second topic, or up here, order of operations. You probably don't need a ton of instruction on that because last week we did some order of operations problems in a quizzes application, and you scored like an 80% average as a class, and a lot of you got 100%. So anyway, in fairness to whoever didn't necessarily score as high, I'm going to do some of these. So the first little section of problems is simply asking me which is if it's greater than or less than. So 4 right here. 4 is greater, right? 4 is, oh, it is greater than 3, but started my symbol wrong. So I want to do that. 4 is greater than 3, right? That's my greater than symbol. And -1 is, well, think about this on a number line. If you see this, if this were on a number line, right, that's for me, it's an easier way to think about it. -1 would be here, and then -2, -3, -4, right? So on a number line, thinking about this, well, the number that's on the right is greater, so -1 is greater than -4. Or vice versa, the number that's further left is less. Less. So anyhow, -1 is greater than -4, and I'm going to just carry on in just a moment. You know what? The first problem in the notes, I copied it down wrong, so it actually is a -4, and if it's a -4, then -4 is actually less than 3, right? Sorry. So there's that. Next one, -5 and -2. -5 would be further left. -5 is less than -2. 0 would be on the right? 0 is here, -3 would be here. 0 is greater than -3. Okay, now I'm going to move on to these over here. This is just some adding and subtracting, some exponents. So the first one, 17 minus -11, just to save time, remember minus here is going to become 17 plus 11. So that one is, sorry, another mistake. Fix it. 28. This next one is -18 minus -5. Well, careful, this does become plus here, all right, but it's still -18 plus 5. So that's really just 18 minus 5, 13, but the answer stays negative because -18 has a greater absolute value. And the next one, -18 minus 5, that's adding. This problem that looks like it's written as subtraction, but it's really adding. They both have a minus sign and nothing else, so 18 plus 5 is 23. Stays negative. So, I'm going to move along. You guys remember squaring something? It's just multiplying that number by itself. So 4 times 4 is 16. Over here, a negative number times a negative number is still a positive number. So -4 in parentheses squared is positive 16. It will make a difference when we're squaring or when we're raising a negative number to a power. It makes a difference whether it has parentheses or not. And I'll just kind of take a look at it down here. So, let's see. Anyhow, here's 6 to the third, right? 6 times 6 times 6, right? 6 times 6 is 36, and 36 times 6, 216. -6 to the third power, it's going to be 216, but I know it's going to be negative, right? If I'm raising a negative number to a power, if the power is an odd number, my answer is going to come out negative. So I'm going to do that, and anyhow, negative number times negative number times negative number, right? So the first two will make it positive. Positive times negative is going to be a negative number, and so negative 216 Negative 2 to the fourth power is, we just talked about this. This is actually going to be, wait a second, let me take a look. Oh, you know what? This is what I was talking about, guys. When you're raising a negative number to a power, if it doesn't have parentheses like this, this is how we have to think about it. We're only raising the 2 to the power, since the negative sign is not in parentheses with the base, and we're basically saying that since the negative sign isn't in parentheses with the base, that it's gonna wait. It's gonna wait for the base to be multiplied out with the exponent, and then it'll attach itself after. To reiterate, we're only raising 2 to the fourth power, not negative 2, because it doesn't have parentheses like these ones where we raise the whole negative number to the power. Okay? So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, and that negative sign will stay with it. So again, if you're raising a negative number to a power and there's no parentheses around the negative sign with the number, the negative sign only gets used once, not repeatedly. Next one is easy, right? Because it's just 8 times 8. So that's 64. Let's see if I can get a better look at that. Here's that. And then here I have a negative 8 squared. There is parentheses, right? So this one is negative 8 times negative 8. So this one's a positive 64. Whereas the next one is negative 7 squared with no parentheses. So this one is basically, for me, I just remember if it has parentheses, I raise the entire negative number to the power, and if there's no parentheses, I'll try my best to remember that. I'm only raising the base to the power, only the 7, and the negative sign just has to wait for that. So 7 times 7 is 49, and the negative sign waits, and there you have your answer, negative 49. Okay, so carrying on, this is the order of operations stuff, the first couple problems at the bottom of the first page. So again, you obviously have to follow that correct order. If you see anything in parentheses or any grouping symbols, right, you do that first. And then exponents, right, see a couple there. After exponents, I multiply and divide from left to right, meaning here, I'm going to divide before I multiply, because I multiply and divide. I don't do them in a specific order per se always. It's just always from left to right. So it's not always multiply first. So in this case, from left to right, I'm definitely going to divide before I multiply, which definitely will make a difference. After my multiply divide, obviously any adding and subtracting that's left will be done again from left to right. I might subtract before I add if it shows up on the further left. So these are the problems at the bottom of that page. It's example 7. I didn't write that, but it's example 7, A and B. And anyhow, first one, let's take a look. Well, I could definitely do this exponent first. 6 squared is 36. Minus 24 divided by, I'm not going to divide yet because 2 squared, right, is 4. And times 3 plus 1. Now we got a few steps I can do here. I definitely am going to multiply and divide first. You're going to divide first here because you multiply and divide from left to right. Whatever multiplication and division there is, it happens in the order that you see it from left to right. So 24 divided by 4, 36 minus 6, and then it's still times 3 plus 1. So 36 minus 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1, and then now that I only have adding and subtracting, I mean, you could do it however you want. You could do 36 minus 18 and then add 1. Sometimes when there's a lot of numbers, I'll try to add up all the positive numbers, then all the negative numbers, so I'll be like, oh, well, 36 plus 1 is 37, and then, 37 minus 18, what is that, 19? So there's that. And then this one over here, lots of grouping symbols. Hey guys, I don't know how well you can see this. I have a really not so hot setup, I guess we'll say. But anyhow, this is the problem I had left off on, so I'm going to get to that. This one, we'll just start out by going to parentheses first, right? -5 minus minus is plus. Over here, I am definitely going to multiply before I subtract, so let's just call it -2 times -3 plus 6. And then over here, let's see, -5 plus 6 plus 2. So I like to add all the positive and all the negative and then subtract. So I'd go like 6 plus 2 is 8. Then 8 minus 5 is 3. Don't forget to square that. I'm actually redoing this video right now because I forgot to square it on the first video. So anyhow, 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 plus 6... 15, so there's that one. Alright guys, again, I don't know how well you can see this, but I'm going to do one more problem here, problem C in that sequence I've been working on. -6 times -6 here, 36 minus, oh whoops, that's actually square there. 5 minus 7 is -2, and we're going to square that, and we're going to multiply it by -3, so 36 minus, right, -2 times -2 is +4, and I'm going to multiply before I subtract. 4 times -3 is -12. 36 minus -12 is 36 plus 12, so 48 is my answer there. Alright guys, so I just have too much stuff here to move around and get my lighting right for the moment, so I'm gonna try and do this with better lighting next time. So anyhow, that was a good amount of the problems in the notes. I'll do the rest during class.